Hello and welcome to Flashback, a weekly look at stories from years gone by. Back in 2003, a well-known relic of the North Coast, the North Coast Pacific Cannery, had sat dormant for some time, but over the summer, through some government funding, had once again begun to function. Let's take a look back into our archives to June 5th, 2003.
There's lots to see at the North Pacific Historic Fishing Village, but the heart of the century-old place is the equipment that once canned the salmon here. The complicated metal contraptions have sat in silent rows in this huge building for years, but over the winter, millwrights and apprentices, funded by a government HRDC grant, put the canning line in working order.
They had a lot of hours actually roaming through boxes to get the parts that they needed to fix the machines. The other thing is they only had pictures to look at a lot of the time to figure out how the machines were in the beginning. So they also had a few people come over, some people that had worked on those machines to see how they were assembled and put them together. So that was quite a challenge for the apprentices and the journeymen also.
Visitors still see the line without the motion first on their tour. It includes a look at the iron butcher.
So tail got sliced off, fins on the belly removed, hidden blade up here that removes the dorsal fin, and if it's not looking enough like a fish for you anymore, you've got a hidden blade up there that just goes right up the middle of the fish.
The waterproof gear Cannery workers wore attests to the messiness of this job.
1 fish per second. An amazing, amazing rate. Especially considering, if you look here, it was built and assembled in 1926. That's how old this one itself is. Patented as far back as 1905.
But it's still a bit hard to comprehend how this worked until the machines are switched on. The iron butcher isn't running at 1 fish per second now. The speed is about 1/10 of its potential. But it's actually easier to see that way, although it might be harder to picture one effect of working farther down the line after fish is packed in the cans.
The fun part of this job is you're watching 200 cans a minute go by and the smell of the fish at the same time. Many people get motion sickness doing this job. It's hard for some people to take.
Along with the motion, museum workers and visitors appreciate the sound of the equipment in action.
So having the belts going kind of put a little bit of noise back in the cannery, and for people that have worked in canneries before, it is very nice for them to see the machines and to hear the noise because that's very familiar to them.
Now workers are busy getting the museum's reform line ready for action too. Right now the demonstration is powered by muscle.
If I could get 1 or 2 volunteers over on that wheel there, maybe a volunteer over here.
The reform line turns flat cans from the factory into containers ready for filling. Cannery staff hope they'll be operating without the need for human power next month.
Well, originally it was steam powered and then it was diesel powered, and now we just moved on one step and it is electric powered. Obviously it costs a lot less for us to do it this way and than to have diesel. It's also less trouble.
A group of pocket cruise ship passengers was among the visitors impressed by North Pacific on this day.
Quite a good effort to get all the old machinery going again.
We're on the Spirit of Oceanus out of Vancouver. It's one of the smaller cruise liners. We're going further into the different fjords and that, and so far it's magnificent.
North Pacific is getting more and more visitors from cruise ships, along with other tourists and local visitors. This season they can also see newly constructed examples of First Nations housing that once crowded the shoreline. Other homes and bunkhouses, a store, restaurant and inn line other sections of boardwalk. And away from the rumble of the canning line, the tranquility lets your imagination wander back through years of history.